Hello and welcome to the first edition of 100% Football. I am Dermot Brogan and I'm joined today by Benjamin Galbraith from Ballymena
I
and
know.
Jonathan McNabb from Bushmills.
Oh,
Well, lads, the reason we're here today is to chat about our favourite sport. We all love it, the big, beautiful game of football.
Yoo-hoo.
And we're going to start chatting about the controversial Champions League, which the group stage began on Tuesday. And we're going to chat about Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, and City. We're going to chat about how all four of those teams got on. So let's start with Jonathan. Let's start with you, big man, you're the man yourself. We're going to start with United's campaign getting off to a dreadful start in Eindhoven. What did you make of that performance? And Luke Shaw, especially, getting his leg broke.
it's first and foremost it's a good result for United. First game of the new campaign, you just don't want to get beat. And but I thought United played all right in spells, but that's the result that matters. I think the big positive would be Depay scoring. Um, but at the end of the day, you can't get beat in your first game, and the injury of Luke Shaw is just dreadful. So.
Yeah, Luke Shaw started the season brilliantly, and I think he's a player we're going to miss now for the remainder of the campaign because we've got Daley Blind to come in, but I mean, Luke Shaw was playing so well there, and Blunt formed such a good partnership with Chris Smalling, so it looks like Marcus Rojo is going to replace him in the centre defence, but will he be as good? It's only time will tell. Ben, what was your make of the United game?
It was pretty much like last year, Dermot, where you were watching United and it was loads of possession and loads of build-up, but it was very, very slow, very static. Teams that have well organised. Like, don't get me wrong, this PSV team's an okay team, but they're not. You're not your Bayern Munich's, your Barcelona's, your Real Madrid's, and they have basically two chances and they score. By Luke Shaw, I would have to say Luke Shaw's probably been one of your finer starts of the season. He's worked in pre-season. He's worked really hard. He's got himself fit after Louis van Gaal. I think did he call him on fat? Did he call him fat after last year?
They
I
called him
called him,
unfit, I think, at one
called
stage.
him really
Yeah.
unfit, so we had to train by himself. So.
I think he took a personal trainer and took him on holiday, so he's got himself into the shape that Louis van Gaal wants him to. Has worked really hard. Looks like he's probably going to be England's number one left back. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think the tackle was. Maybe, I think he got the ball. I think it was an okay challenge. I think you guys are on the Muller side. I think it was a wee bit more dangerous and should have been a penalty and a red card.
I
I'm
don't, I don't think the intent was there by Moreno, but
oh
I think I don't think he intentionally allowed to hurt Luke Shaw. But at the same stretch, the imagination, it wasn't a great tackle. In my opinion, it should have been a penalty. Maybe a red card would have been hard, but definitely a penalty.
I mean, a
okay.
player winning the ball doesn't always constitute, a great tackle. Yes, he
Yeah,
wins the ball, but the follow through just absolutely wipes Luke Shaw out. And
yeah,
the saddest thing for me is, I mean, last week Roy Hodgson was saying, "Oh, Luke Shaw, he's going to be our left back for the next 10 years. He's going to win 100 caps for England." And then the next week he goes out and I mean, he's out for about 6 to 9 months now, which is really upsetting for a young player such as
yeah.
himself. But so lads, we're through that. So what do you think United's chances are at the latter stages of the group? Do you think we'll still qualify?
I
Jonathan?
will. If you can't get out of that group, then you don't deserve to be in the Champions League. I know I've said it for ages that the Premier League's vastly overrated. Like that PSV team, that's one of the worst teams I've seen United lose to in years. The next game, the one me and Dermot are for, is the big one, I think, home to Wolfsburg. If you lose that there, you're 6 points behind the Germans, and then PSV will obviously play CSK Moscow, and you'd fancy them to do a get result, But big game for United under Old Trafford, and you think you'd definitely have to win that one. You have to win your home games and pick up as many points on the road as you can.
I, I,
Okay.
I, I think the key one. I disagree, Johnny. I think the key one, CSK Moscow. I think going to Moscow in about November time when you have the league starting to really develop. If you're in the Carling Cup and you're
I
like
will
that Moscow.
definitely.
It depends. I agree with you in one sense that Wolfsburg game, the next one at home, is a key one because if you don't, well, even a point to an extent sense, maybe not a bad result against a half decent Wolfsburg side, but I think that CSK Moscow, and if you pick 4 to 6 points up in the end games, I think you'll qualify. I think you'll be all right. I think you'll beat PSV at home again. You've got a very decent home record. But I think the CSK games are key in that one, so they are. If you don't pick any points up, you sure we saw it last season. City had them in their group. Everybody thought they would be the whipping boys, and I think they took 4 points off City last year. So
Dubry was back with them as well after a spell with Roma. and he's a good player. I agree with you, but I think just for confidence and morale heading into the CSK doubleheader, you want 3 points against Wolfsburg because you don't want to be 6 points behind, going to Russia, and then facing them again in the midst of Carling Cup and Premier League. So I would agree with you there, but I think the next one, in my opinion, is the big one, and if we can get 3 points there, then if you get 2 big cup finals nearly against CSK Moscow, if you get 6 points out of them 2, then we're flying.
I agree completely. I mean, it's not the hardest group in the world. I mean, I think they were very, very lucky with the way the balls came out of the pot. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, we could have had the likes of Bayern Munich in our group, and we've ended up with a very, 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 handy. I wouldn't say so handy. I mean, there's no easy away game in Europe as such. We've seen that the last day. We've seen it with other English teams. We'll get onto that in a minute. But I still fully expect United to progress to the last 16. You would expect them to top the group, but
Yeah.
I mean, there is no gimmies in Europe. That's all.
No, definitely not. No,
100%.
So right, lads, we'll move on to Arsenal. I mean, they had an absolutely awful end to office. I mean, they lost 2-1 against Dynamo Zagreb, and Benjamin, you're a massive Arsenal fan yourself, and
Indeed.
you must be devastated about that. I mean, especially the way Olivier Giroud. I mean, he's had a lot of criticism this season, and I mean, he goes and does something so stupid as to get himself sent off. And Ben, what do you make of that?
Well, Dermot, I have to start off when I saw the teams come out. I don't understand Wenger's logic behind it, making 6 changes. That's kind of 6 changes I would have expected next week in the Carling Cup away to Spurs. Don't get me wrong, you always want to beat your local rivals in any competition, but Carling Cup is probably, like United and City and Chelsea, is probably ranked the lowest of the lows. And to change your keeper, I don't understand what the keeper change was all about. I don't understand the 2 fullbacks, and to go on about Giroud, he's had a very hit and miss season. I think I don't know where this man's head at is to be at the minute, Dermot, to tell you the truth. He got booed off by his own supporters in France last week in the internationals. His confidence is pretty low. Arsenal fans are pretty on his back after it. The sending offs were schoolboy stuff. You would see under 16s, under 15s. One was slabbering the referee. Like I think I seen Nigel Owens, the rugby referee, last week say that's where he would like to implement that in football. I 100% agree with him. There's too much back chat in football, so you get stupid one. I think the second one was a bit harsh, but I can see where the referee came of. Your Dynamo boy rolling around didn't. Probably, but Giroud was very, very stupid, so he was, and I don't know where this man's head's at the minute. He's not taking chances. He doesn't look like he's in confidence. He's I don't know what to say, Dermot.
I think whenever I seen the starting lineup, I just did not understand it. Spina in the nets, the way if I was Arsenal fans and Arsene Wenger, your first 2 games are the 2 bankers in that group.
100%.
Away to Zagreb, home to Olympiacos, you're thinking 6 points, double header against Bayern Munich, try and even get a draw at home. You're probably going to get beaten away, but you're definitely going to. Arsenal probably realise they're going to finish second, but now they've got an added pressure to actually go out and beat Olympiacos at home and beat them away. Like Zagreb, I think I read hadn't been beaten in 51 matches, and I said to you before that I did not fancy Arsenal, and Roy Keane said it on the UTV show last night. He just said he wasn't surprised with the result, and I'm exactly the same. Arsenal are so high, so low, so high, so low. And as for Giroud, silly and costly mistake. Now he misses the next game, and if Walcott can come in and score a few goals, he'll find it very hard to get his place back. But the thing is, I actually don't mind Giroud. I actually think there's a player in there, but it's just getting him on a consistent basis. And his head isn't lost or whatever. And I was actually really surprised that he got booed by the French team, but I saw it and he didn't look too wound up about it, but at the same time it's very worrying.
His attitude was all like, even walking off the pitch last night after he'd been sent off, it was like the head down and it didn't really look like he gave a care. Like he's just that whole. But is John out 100%? Because we've played like. That mentality last night of resting them 6 boys. Like I know they're fullbacks, one's a keeper, but like Pericek, they tell me that Pericek needs a rest after. I think he had 4 shots. I think 2 of them he saved on Saturday to Stoke. The week before that, he played Newcastle. He didn't even have a shot to save in that game. So to tell me Pericek needs a rest, then okay, I think Hector Bellerin had maybe a slight calf strain a couple of weeks before that. Fine, Debussy, French international, bring him in. But the one last night I thought when I saw the team was Mikel Arteta. Now, that man, for me, don't get me wrong, I would have given him a year contract, but I think he's the type of player that you got to just, if you're 2-0 lead, say with 15 minutes to go, bring him on. He's a great passer of the ball. He'll hold the ball and do that. But to tell me, even at Zagreb, they've got quick, nimble players. They were running by him for fun last night, and without Coquelin, like, we have nobody to do that. I don't think Flamini's the answer as well. So what happens if Coquelin gets injured? Do you play Ramsey and Gazzola? Because them twos is just going to keep bombing forward all the time. So then you're going to get that back four is going to get left exposed 24/7.
Arsene Wenger had another very, very poor transfer window this year. I mean, they were calling out for a holding midfielder and a striker, and what do? They signed one keeper. I think that's all they signed all summer. And I mean, I think the big one for them was missing out on a holding midfielder, especially in particular. I mean,
I think they were
Morgan Sterling all summer, and we done brilliantly to sign him. We signed him and Bastian Schweinsteiger. So I think Manchester United.
I think both of them would have been suitable for us. To be honest, I think Schweinsteiger would be perfect. You can imagine him with, say, Cazorla and Ramsey ahead of him. Oh my goodness, that'd be such a great trio. I just go ahead, Ben.
But as I say, Southampton's the type of club that if you prepare to give them the money, like we saw, like with West Brom and like the Berahino thing and John Stones and Chelsea and Everton, like them clubs were just looking for high sums of money. Southampton's the type of club that if you give them a value for what their player they think is worth, they're going to sell them. So like you just went in with 25 million for Morgan Slyerland. I don't think, even though the relationship between Louis van Gaal and Robin Koeman is not good, they end up selling him to you. Like if we had gone with 25 million, and I think if Morgan Slyerland wanted to come to Arsenal, he would be an Arsenal player. Like even if you don't like Victor Wanyama, I think Victor Wanyama's, I don't think he's top class, but he's a quality above Arteta and Flamini. Like you say Southampton, there's 15 million. I think Southampton sell him because he'll want to go and they don't want to stay. You had Schweinsteiger, you had your boy from Sporting Lisbon, William Carvalho, Sami Khedira went on a free to Juventus.
Yep.
Even your boy that plays for Sevilla, is it the Polish boy Krovic? Any of them boys can do a job. Any of them boys can do a job. I think they're a class above Arteta and Flamini.
I mean, I just think Arsenal now have left themselves with a mountain to climb. I know it's only the first game, but Arsenal just went in, I think, with the mindset the same way they did last year against Monaco. They went in there thinking, this is our game, we have it won. They thought they had the game won before the game started, and they went in, and there was no passion. There was no drive in the players then. It must be so frustrating for an Arsenal fan like yourself to see that.
Oh, it is.
I mean, you're completely up against it. You've got a double header coming up in November against Bayern. I mean, that's going to be massive.
Like I think the mentality last night was, well, Bayern Munich's already won that group, so we're fighting out for second. And don't get me wrong, like as Johnny said earlier on, your first two games in the Champions League, your first away game and your first home game, you've got to be nailing at least 4 points in them there to be setting a good benchmark. Like we're already got zero. We pick up a point against Olympiacos. Can you see for the life of me Dinamo Zagreb going and getting a point even against Bayern Munich? No, Bayern Munich would have had that team killed off in the first. That team would have been killed off in the first 10-15 minutes, and then say I don't think they're playing Borussia Dortmund this weekend, but say they've been playing Borussia Dortmund, Pep Guardiola would have even put the strong team out, gone and got 2 or 3 goals, and then he would have took his Vidals and his Lewandowskis off. But no, we don't have that mindset. So now we have a big game in 2 weeks' time against Olympiacos that if we don't win that one, like jeepers, because our record against Bayern Munich is not very, very good now. We have a decent chance against the Pep Guardiola team. I think we have quite a good record against the Pep Guardiola team, especially at home. But like I know we're talking about Barcelona here, and it's not the same team, but it's the same philosophy and the same passing and movement. But like that Bayern Munich team, for me, I have tipped Bayern Munich from the start this year to win it, even before they got into our group. I think their recruitment's been good. I think Pep Guardiola's drive will be good to win it this year. So there's us. Like if we turn up and play half the way we did last night, we're going to get annihilated at home and away. And then you have a game against Dinamo Zagreb that showed last night. If they come and park a bus, like any team that comes and plays against Arsenal and has a back of 4 and a back of 5 and well organised, we're going to get very frustrated. And it's so annoying at the minute because you could tell. Most Arsenal fans could tell within 10 minutes whether they're going to. If it's a quick attack of football, that team will you can get at that team. If they start going that, well, we'll knock it from side to the fullback to the centre midfielder. It's gonna be a long night.
So Ben, do you think you should be safe enough to actually get qualified and actually make it to the last 16?
I think we'll have we'll have enough to finish second, but then, as you know, then that's look at the draw, and you most likely will play Barcelona or Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, and them sides are good passing football sides that are well drilled, and even like last year, sure we could have got. I think we could have got Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and Barcelona, and sure we got Monaco, and we still screwed that up because we, as Johnny says, we thought we were just going to go in that mindset of, well, we're Arsenal, you're Monaco, and we don't need to worry about defending, and we just all attack, and sure that cost the first leg cost us last year, and it's the same again last night.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will finish second. I think Wenger will get the right night out for the Olympiacos game, and I think they might sneak a point at home to Bayern Munich. Don't ask me why. I could regret saying that the next time the podcast is on. They'll probably beat 4-5-0, but I think they'll qualify. They'll beat that Dino team at home, and they'll beat Olympiacos home away. So they'll definitely qualify second.
So moving on, I mean, it's been dark times for English teams in Europe, hasn't it? I mean, Manchester City.
Shocking.
Manchester City lost 2-1 home to Juventus. I mean, don't get me wrong, Juventus are a great footballing team, but they lost so many players over the summer. They lost the likes of Pirlo, Tevez, and they're still able to come to it. They had like an almost full-strength Man City side, and they're able to beat them. Jonathan, what were Man City lacking in that game? Like, not to get over the line, even after taking the lead.
It's same old Man City in Europe. It's just the same as usual. It's taking the lead or going behind and just not knowing what to do. You know, people like this is City's 5th or 6th season now in Europe. You'd think that they would know the ins and outs of what to do. They went 1-0 up, great corner, and Company attacked it, and you thought maybe they'll kick on, but they didn't, and Juventus got a goal back and then won it with Morata. And you know, that's, you know, like City have Juventus, Sevilla, Mönchengladbach in their group, and all three of them teams are difficult to beat away. So you're thinking that your home games are going to have to be your banker, similar to all the English teams, and City have failed. And you know, whenever I read even bookmaker sheets or read in the papers or whatever, they're thinking this is a home win for City, but people don't realise how good team Juventus are. And I know Derby alluded to the fact they lost a lot of players in the summer, but they still have a good load of players. You know, Morata is a good player, Pogba is still there. You know, the players still that would walk into any team in Europe. So it wasn't going to be an easy game, but the winner was absolutely a cracking finish. And but for me, City just lack a striker. If Aguero's not finished, you know, Burnley played last night and it was terrible. I seen it. It's the first half. He absolutely lashed one over the bar. So I think they're not. I think they can't wait to get Aguero back. But for City, for them, a big positive would be that Sterling and Silva both featured last night as they were injured out. So that'll be a big massive boost to their campaign as well. I don't know who Man City have next, but it must be away. Maybe Mönchengladbach away. So they'll have to go there and pick up 3 points definitely, because you need and this is the third or fourth time I'm saying this, but your home form is just so important in the group stage. And Man City have just basically failed at the first attempt. But you know, they had a tough group. I think they had a tough group a couple of years ago, managed to sneak out of it. So I still fancy them to finish second, but if they don't win, they've made a Mönchengladbach, they're a big baller.
Ben, what do you make of Man City's chances?
I actually agree with Johnny. I actually, for some reason, I think they'll finish second. But I think they'll finish second behind Sevilla. I don't know why I think Sevilla. I think Sevilla is a well-organised side. They have well-rounded. Juventus are a good. Don't get me wrong, or as Johnny says, a good team. You know, they're well solid, but I think City can go and do some. I think it's City's mentality. I think City have won the Premier League. I think you can do that over a long stretch of season. But like the Champions League, 6 games in a group stage. If you don't get off to a good start, like they haven't done the last couple of years, they're always playing catch up. But I think it's their mentality. And as you saw the other night, I think Aguero was only on the bench. I think he only threw him on because he went 2-1 behind. I think Vincent Kompany, he went off of a castrain. I think Yaya Toure has started the season well, but I don't think he was as bright as the other night. So if that spine of that team doesn't doesn't click, then I don't think Man City is as good a team as what everybody thinks they are. But I think they will progress. But Dynamo, no, I think not Dynamo, Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think they go to next. If they get 3 points in that there, I think they'll be in a good chance. But it depends how Juventus and Sevilla play up. I think Sevilla will actually surprise a couple of people in the group stages. I think they're well. I think they've won the Europa League 2 years in a row. Is it they've won the Europa League?
Yeah, they've won the last 2 years.
So like I know the Europa League. Some people say it is probably a different kettle of fish to the Champions League. But like, if you bring that form in European football and bring it over to the Champions League and you have a go, like I think they beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 3-0 the other night. So I think that's a good. Like, they're a well organised side that if you leave gaps and you let them counter you, I think they're a good side. I think they have Reyes. I think did they get Llorente from Juventus, and I think Steven Nzonzi from Stoke. He went to them as well.
Yeah.
And of course, you're chatting about that big holding midfielder from Poland, Krzysztof, who could have Arsenal were linked with and didn't bother going away a bid for some reason. I mean, I think he's a top quality player. Scored in the Europa League final last year.
So
I just think. Ben.
No, no, I have to say, I think Sevilla will be dark horses. I think they will. I think Sevilla could top that group, you know. But Man City, it just depends whatever way they go. But they can maybe do a job from last year where they were. I think they were bottom by 4 games last year, and they think they managed to scrape through for second. But then, sure, they got Barcelona again, and we all know how that ended.
So
I think.
if you think that City will finish second or Sevilla will finish first, who do you think Juventus will lose to? Sevilla twice, City again, Mönchengladbach. You know, I'm not. You know, it's a weird one. Do you think how Juventus will not finish in the top 2 after a great start?
Well, it's a good start for Juventus, Johnny. Don't get me wrong. It's a good start. I think I surprised a couple of people. I hold my hands up and say I did expect Man City to continue their league form, to go and beat them. But I think Sevilla will sit in. If Juventus last night on Tuesday night sit at them. They sat in and waited for Man City to attack, and then I think a couple of them was a counter attack. I think the first one was was just a float ball under the box. I think Mandzukic was able to connect into it at the far post, and I think the second one, Morata, don't get me wrong, wonderful strike, but it's just a big heave over the top of the head. I think hit Mangala on the back and landed in a very good area for him to strike. But I think City can go to Juventus and get a result. Now I know Juventus have a good, very. I think they have a class record in Europe at home. I think they have a class record, but City, if they turn up, a City that we know that we watched and seen against Chelsea turn up and they play them off the park like they did at the Etihad this season, City can go and get a result at Juventus, and City can go and get a result at Sevilla. But there's just something telling me, Johnny, that Sevilla could top that group. I said it when that group came out, and everybody laughed at me. But I think
that's Sevilla, a big call. I mean, that's the finalist for last year's Champions League final. You're saying they're not going to get out of the group, but I mean, I think the one thing Man City have done very well this year is buying players. They've bought some quality players. Yeah. In my opinion, they've got the strongest squad in that Premier League by an absolute mile now. They've signed a player United. We thought United had this player absolutely wrapped up. I mean, 3-4 months ago, Nicolas Otamendi, and at the last minute, Van Gaal decides he doesn't want him for some reason. We were crying out for centre back, and he goes to Man City, 35 million. Hasn't really played much yet, but I think he will be a top player in that team because Mangala isn't a great player alongside Kompany. They signed Kevin De Bruyne, who in my opinion is probably one of the best attacking midfielders in Europe. I mean, I think he got the most assists in Europe last year for Wolfsburg in all Europe's top 5 leagues. So, and of course Raheem Sterling. All 3 of them players came for big massive money. Sterling, I think maybe slightly overpriced, but he's proved so far he's worth the money. I mean, he's done some really good stuff.
I think Sterling's a great player.
Do you think Pellegrini will break up? Like you saw that back 4 that he has at the minute. He has Sanya. I think he's in there ahead of Zabaleta. I think Zabaleta is injured, but I think Sanya started the season ahead of him. You have Kompany, Mangala, Kolarov. Like even though Octor came, I think is it 35 million Octor came for from the summer?
Yeah.
Do you think Pellegrini will break Mangala and Kompany up?
I do think Otamendi will be straight in there once he comes. I mean, he's too good a player not to play. I'm sure he's gotten assurances from Pellegrini that he will play. I mean, I don't know that for sure. I mean, players go to Man City just for the money. You know what I mean? There could be that to the transfer as well. But I just don't think Mangala is the quality player that Otamendi is. I mean, he was probably the best centre back in Spain last year. So for him to go to England and sit on the bench, I just don't think that's feasible for players.
I've watched City a couple of times, and I watched him away to Everton, and I thought Magnan was brilliant. I think he started the season very well. But I was nearly surprised that they signed Otamendi, but I agree with Dermot. I think once Otamendi settles in England, I can only, for that amount of money, I know Otamendi, you have to remember, costs nearly as much as what Mangla nearly costs as much as Otamendi did. You need to remember as well. But I do think that they'll be Otamendi and company. I think they'll complement each other well as good as well.
I think once Man City have a fully fit attacking, that kind of diamond up front, they've got the likes of Aguero, and they've got, once David Silva's fully fit, Aguero, and you've got Sterling, and you've got De Bruyne. I mean, I think that front four is absolutely sensational. I mean, it's scarily good.
I would say arguably it's the fourth best in Europe.
And behind the big three, Johnny. And behind the big three.
Yeah.
And behind the big, yeah, it's definitely.
I actually, on top like Bayern, I can nearly even. It's just behind Bayern, in my opinion. I swear, I think that's like Silva.
Well, I suppose at the same time, we have to see how Kevin De Bruyne settles in England. I mean, remember his last spell in England, he wasn't great. Mourinho didn't give him enough chances in midfield, but I mean, he went to Germany. He was absolutely world class player for Belgium as well. So if he settles there quick, I think Man City have got a real player in their hands, and Jose Mourinho will have to be kicking himself for losing a player of that caliber.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. Of course, the fourth team, the fourth English team who actually won was Chelsea. Unlike the other three, they got the job done, but I suppose they had an arguably a lot easier job than the other three. They were home to Maccabi Tel Aviv. They won 4-0. It was quite straightforward and end up. Missed an early penalty through Eden Hazard, but Ben, I mean, Maccabi Tel Aviv didn't really trouble Chelsea. What do you think they will run into any more trouble in that group?
No, Chelsea will cruise through that group. They'll pick up. They'll win the rest of them games at home. I think is it Dynamo Kiev and Porto in that group. They'll beat them two at home. They'll beat Maccabi Tel Aviv, or is that how you pronounce it? Maccabi Tel Aviv. They'll beat them away, and they'll at least get a point out in Porto, and they'll cruise through that group. That group is a piece of cake for Chelsea, and they'll finish top of that group. It's 3-4 points clear, and they'll finish set top. I think they could have qualification done after the fourth game.
I can't argue with that. It was, we all thought United had a reasonably easy group. I think Chelsea had the best group out of the lot. Porto, great club, bring through a lot of players, sell them on for big money, but they'll not trouble Chelsea too much. I'll be surprised if they did. Maccabi Tel Aviv, that Chelsea made, was it 5 or 6 changes? Your boy Rahman started left back. They had Loftus-Cheek on. They had Remy on. They had more changes as well, and they won absolutely convincingly. Big blow, I think, would be the loss of William. He came off a hamstring injury midway through the first half after he scored, so that would be a big loss to them. And Oscar obviously came in as well, so that's quality players. They're bringing in.
Just one thing I'd like to put to you boys. I mean, Eden Hazard last season was the best player in the Premier League. He was voted by his fellow professionals that.
And I'd agree with that.
He started the season absolutely. I mean, he's a different player this year. I don't know what's wrong, and he hasn't been great for Belgium either. He scored that goal to win against Cyprus, but apart from that, his club and national form has been quite awful. And after last night, he got absolutely slaughtered by the press and Chelsea fans alike. Jonathan, what's gotten into him? I mean, he was the best player in England last year.
Whenever he won that award, I wasn't surprised. He was absolutely outstanding. I thought him and Sanchez were just, in terms of white men, they're nearly just on a level of their own last year. I poor form from Hazard, when he missed the penalty and all the players had his confidence just seems low. I think he just needs to go on a big marauding runs and set someone up or score a goal, and that'll be it back. I think he scored for Belgium's winner against Cyprus in early September. Well, they're not there. He's done absolutely nothing this season. And it's not like him, but then he's not the only one. Look at Branislav Ivanovic. Every single left-hand side player has tore him to pieces. Jefferson Montero had a field day against them. And then even look at John Terry. He hasn't been great this season either. Gary Cahill's been shaky, So, and then Courtois is injured. So there's 4 or 5 players that were and then Costa as well. So there's 4, 5, 6 players who were Chelsea's main core players, just haven't been the same. And the ones with Begovic isn't as good as Cech. that sort of way. Your boy Rama be as good as Felipe Luis. Chelsea didn't really buy any big players.
No.
So it's,
I mean, I think Chelsea just kind of thought, Eden Hazard, best player in the league last year, he's going to come back, he's going to give us that same drive, that same hunger, that same technique on the wing, and he's just done nothing so far. I think a big thing for Chelsea, they signed Cuadrado last year, he was a star at the World Cup, and he came in, he barely got a game. I don't know what it is with Mourinho, signing players and not playing them, but I mean, he was one of the best players in Italy, and he signed for big money, didn't get a chance, and he's been loaned back to Juventus straight away. Yeah. And that's why I think he's relying on Hazard too much, and now at a time when Hazard could actually be dropped, he could like Cuadrado a chance, and he's not there. And
even Mo Salah.
Another player.
I think I'll stand corrected. I think Chelsea had 32 players out of them.
No, you're right, Angus.
That's shocking. There has to be a cap on that. That's like 2 teams worth of players.
Coming back to Mourinho, do you think if he especially I think wingers in his team play a big part. If you don't work back and track back and work for the team, I think Schürrle wasn't a great option of doing that. I think that's Cuadrado. I think that's Cuadrado's biggest reason why Cuadrado looked super the ordinary against Manchester City. I think he played in the right wing up against Kolarov. He did a very good job, but I think Mourinho got fed up with his track back, and I think Mohamed Salah was the same. So do you think maybe that's the kind of reason why they all go and Hazard stays? Don't get me wrong, Hazard's a brilliant player. No question. I think he deserved. I think Alexis Sanchez last year pipped him all the way for that, but I think Hazard deserved to win that last year. But is that maybe a reason because Hazard last year worked on the defensive side and said, right, I'm going to show you how I can track back and I can be because Willian on the other side, that is what I renown for. Willian is that tracking back and helping Ivanovic and so is that part of the reason why he shipped all them boys out to keep Hazard? Don't get me wrong, Hazard you should keep because he's in that quality players, but is that one of the reasons why you think he keeps him or ship them boys out because of the work rate and Hazard prefers to fit in that team?
I mean, I just think Johnny alluded to it earlier on. I think Hazard's that good a player. I mean, he's bound to just come into his own eventually. In some of these games, he's going to go on a drive and run. He's going to score a great goal. He's going to set up a goal, and his confidence will just be back, and he'll be that great player again. But until he does that, I mean, Chelsea haven't been great this season in any of their games. Maybe that could be Tel Aviv, but that's a gimme they get at home. They should be winning that every day of the week. But their league form has been absolutely awful, and I just think, like Hazard, don't pick themselves up soon. Chelsea will soon find themselves a long way off the leaders in the Premier League.
You're saying about getting rid of wingers who don't track back. The big one under Mourinho has been Juan Mata.
Yeah, I forgot all about Juan Mata.
From day one, I don't think Mourinho was too keen on him. And even for United, I wouldn't say he does work hard, but I wouldn't say he tracks back as much as Hazard or Willian does. So I think if you sign him for Chelsea, you need to have a lot of energy. They work on the Mourinho.
So lads, you think Chelsea will just progress out of that group? No problem at all.
Top of the group. Flying colours.
I'd actually be surprised if they drop points.
Yeah. They will. That's okay. I mean, we've got through the Champions League now, and it wasn't a great round of games for the English teams, bar Chelsea, of course. But hopefully the next game, because as we heard in the news today, England are in big trouble of losing their I think the 4 Champions League spots. It could be getting cut down to 3 if Italy passes them out at Italy's coefficient. So. I mean, English teams really have to buck up their ideas and start winning games in Europe before that.
Big time.
I think I read that the coefficient counts for both the Champions League and Europa League.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite interesting. And then I've read here that Lazio drew tonight, Spurs won, and Liverpool got a draw. So that's good for the coefficient as well. Napoli won, they beat Bruges 5-0. And then Fiorentina, I can't even find the result. I think they might have drew. Yeah, no, sorry, they were beat by Basel. So it's going to be very, it'd be nice if West Ham and Southampton both would have took the competition seriously and qualified and got the coefficient up. But I'd be really worried. Like I've said this for years, the English League, there's too much money in it and there's not enough quality in it. And PSV, the Negro. They're not. I'd be surprised if they finish top 10. I'd be serious, top 10 in the Premier League. Honestly, they're 2 terrible football teams. So it wouldn't surprise me if the English League lost fourth qualifying spot, and that would be more pressure on like Arsenal and
Maybe.
United.
Certainly be a big blow to England if that did happen, but
Yeah.
hopefully they buck up their ideas. But we'll move on now to the Premier League and big round of fixtures again this weekend. The fixture that pops out of me is Chelsea are playing Arsenal. I think it's lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, I think.
Yep.
So, Ben, you're an Arsenal man. Away to Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea, well, you would think will be on a high after that one, and Arsenal, well, you would think would be very on a low after that really morale crushing defeat in Zagreb. So, how do you think Arsenal will cope at Stamford Bridge?
Oh, I think it'll just be. I think everybody will forget about the game. I think from tomorrow onwards, I think it'll be focused on Mourinho and Wenger. The two of them, absolutely. I think the two of them eat each other's guts. I don't think the two of them could stand each other. I think that's ever been since Mourinho came into the league in 2000. The first time in 2004. But no, you're right, Dermot. I think I said to another friend of ours, Andy. I said before the match on Wednesday night, I says, fancy us to beat Chelsea on Saturday, if we get a good win here tonight, even though I expected them to beat Maccabi Tel Aviv, I expect this, but what we did on Wednesday night just completely shuts everything down. But no, I think the game on Saturday is a big one. I think if we win, I think that kind of, I'm going to stick my neck out in the line here. I'm going to roll them out of the title race already. I think if City win on Saturday and we win, I think that's 9 points ahead of. I think that's 9 points ahead of Chelsea. I think I think City will be 14 in if they beat West Ham. That's a big gap even with 6 games gone. For a team to try and claw back. But if Chelsea win, they got gets them. That will probably that might start a wee bit of kick of momentum for them. I think it's a must-win game for both teams, because if Chelsea don't win, as I said, then they're far behind us and United and City. If we lose and Chelsea win and City win, there's a gap to the teams already. City's got a big massive gap with 6 games gone. But I think it'll be classic. I think it'll be classic Mourinho. I think he'll come, and even though he's at home, I think he'll park the bus, and I think he'll try and frustrate Arsenal and niggle the free kicks. I think he'll get men behind the ball. He will try and frustrate Arsenal every opportunity. I think the one, whoever scores the first goal on Saturday, I think will probably go on to win the game.
Johnny, would you agree?
I can't see Mourinho parking the bus at home. Sorry, man. I think Chelsea will beat them. I think Mourinho just knows how to beat Wenger, and it's just as simple as that. It'll be a tight game, but I think it'll be a 2-1 to Chelsea. Chelsea have to win. Ben says if Chelsea lose and City win, the league's over. The league's over anyway, from Chelsea's point of view. 11 points behind City. Can you see that City team losing 4 games? I can't. Honestly, I swear. They're that good. I think it's going to be a big gate battle in the midfield, but I do think Chelsea will beat them 2-1.
Midfield's the key. I think midfield and forwards. I think everywhere's key around the pitch, because I think we've got Petr Cech coming back to face the club he's played for. I think it was 11 years. This is the first time. I think he'll get a brilliant reception by the Chelsea fans. I think it's different for where. I'm going to say it's different for when Cesc Fabregas came back, because Cesc Fabregas kind of left on a limb and said, "Oh, I'm going to Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona." I think most Arsenal fans said, "Accept that. Barcelona's a far better team. That's your home team. Go and play for him." But I think he said that whole thing. If I wear a Chelsea shirt, was it "Please kill me"? Did he say, or was it something along those lines? Something along those lines. So I think that's the reason. But I think Petr Cech, I think. Was it 4 Premier Leagues, a Champions League, a Europa League, so many FA Cups, so many current cups? That guy is an absolute legend of that football club. Don't get me wrong, I'm very, very happy to have him at my football club, but I think you've got a brilliant reception. Do you think John Terry will start and start? I think it was Zuma and Cahill that started at the back 4. I personally think Terry will start Saturday. I think Terry will be in there for experience. I think Gary Cahill will play as well. But everywhere's key. Midfield will be. I think they'll push Fabregas into the number 10 role. I think Matic will sit with. I think is Ramirez fit. I think Mikel started against Everton last week, but I think Ramirez will sit, and the two of them will just be a pivot. But no, they'll try and close this down. For me personally, I would have Theo ahead of Giroud. I think Theo's in a bit of form. I know he scored 2 goals against Stoke and Zagreb last night, but I think Theo Theo actually gives you that pace in behind it. Chelsea, I think Chelsea trying to play this high line more so this season, so we could try and implement that. But I would have, and also would have Gabriel ahead of Mertesacker. Like, I know Mertesacker is like a very experienced player, but we just look a lot more solid in the back with Gabriel, and I think Ramsey will come in. I think Ramsey will come in for Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Coquelin will come in for Arteta. But I think Johnny, as Johnny said, I think it'll be a tight game, but I think whoever gets that first goal be key. I think that first goal will be key on Saturday.
I think it'll be a very tight game. But to be honest, I think it's an absolutely great chance for Arsenal to go there, express themselves, and get a victory, because I've never seen Chelsea as vulnerable in my life. That is what they are this season. Arsenal will create chances, and Chelsea will. I don't think Mourinho will pride the bus at home. I mean, against Arsenal, he'll want to beat Arsene Wenger, because, as Ben alluded to earlier, there's no love lost between those two. So I think Mourinho will want to win that game. His players haven't performed much this year, but maybe that one in midweek will fuck up their ideas a bit, and they'll start playing well in the league again. The likes of Pedro will come into his own, I think, and they'll hope Pedro will get back. Yeah,
Pedro's
oh, is
injured.
he? Oh, well, that's a big boost for Arsenal. They'll love that. But yeah, I think Arsenal. I think I would go for an Arsenal victory, to be honest. I'll stick my neck out and say that. But
You're a brave man, Dermot. You're a brave man.
With Jonathan, but there's a bit of a deviance, because Mourinho lost his second game, I think, at home in Premier League history just a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's so vulnerable at this time at home as well, in particular. So I think it's a great chance for Arsenal to go there and beat them. They've got quality up front. They've got Sanchez. Maybe Giroud might play, might not. The pace of Walcott, if John Terry does play, I think the pace of Walcott in behind John Terry, that'll really split the defence, and I think I'd go for Arsenal 2-1.
I can't see
my prediction.
I can't see him dropping John Terry.
No, even though the two of them, I don't think the two of them's been. No, I don't think the two of them's been on the same as much in the same wing for this. I think he'll bring experience back, and I think he'll play. I think I even can see Ivanovic coming in. I think Babarama had a very, very good game last night. I know we're saying it's lesser opposition, but I think he'll go with that back four that he trusts. I think he'll go with the one. Like, I know Begovic picks this off because Courtois is injured, but I think he'll go for that back four. I think he'll go with a team that he trusts and hopes it can get the job done.
Yeah.
So Ben thinks, you think an Arsenal victory, or do you think a draw?
Well, I'd be probably more inclined to lean towards a draw. I think the two of them will try and cancel each other out. I think it might be a pretty boring game.
So three different
Chelsea victory.
so three different outcomes there.
Yeah, three different. We should all put a bet on, lads. See how we get on with this.
One of us is finding one.
Yeah. All right, lads. So we'll move on to me, Jonathan's team. Man United have a big game against Southampton. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, and Southampton haven't been all that great this year. They lost some more players in the summer. I think the biggest one was losing Morgan Schneiderlin to United, and I think he'll be a big player on Sunday. Jonathan, how do you think United will cope with Southampton at St Mary's?
I mean, another tough game. It depends who he plays up front, because they don't have very many options. Unless Rooney comes back in. I think I would take a 1-0 now. It's not easy to go. It's a bit like Swansea, and they'll never get an easy game there. Then how do you stop the likes of Mane, Shane Long, Pella, and stuff like that there? So a tough game for United, but hopefully they'll come through. Maybe 1-0, 2-1. But that's me being biased.
Ben, how do you think United will get on?
I think it'll be a tough game. Southampton started the season hit and miss. I think they got a draw away to Newcastle, and then they lost 3-0 and Everton, and then I think they beat Norwich. So they're a bit of inconsistency, same as Manchester United. But I think United play better with teams that will come out and have a go and leave gaps in behind. I think you saw it with Liverpool, like that bit of pace. Ashley Young, and I think Ashley Young. After playing Morel, I think Depay, people with a bit of speed. United can get actually at Southampton. I think you can create chances against Southampton. I actually fancy United in this one. I think United will come away with 3 points on Sunday.
Yeah, I think last season Man United got an absolutely massive 3 points. St Mary's. I think Van Persie got both the goals. And I think United were absolutely destroyed by Southampton that day. To be honest, Southampton should have won by 4 or 5 goals, and we had 2 chances and scored, so we were a bit fortunate. But as Ben said, the 2 chances we got, we were clinical, and we scored, and we won the game. And I would be inclined to go for the victory on Sunday, but I mean we've got a few injuries now, and I'm not quite so sure about the back four anymore because with Luke Shaw he started so well. The Blunt Smalling partnership was so solid this season, and now that's having to be split up. Marcus Rojo hasn't got any match fitness this season. He's going to be inserted in there, so you would think they'd be able to cope with the likes of Pella, who's not the most mobile of players. But I mean, Southampton have a lot of pace up front too, so we'll just have to see.
Do you think Louis van Gaal will stick with Smalling and Glenn? For me, I wasn't very sure at the start of the season what he was trying to do, but two of them look good. Do you think Rojo will go to left back, Glenn left back, Paddy McNair? Do you think Paddy McNair will come in?
No, I think that we saw the other night when Luke Shaw went off, what Van Gaal did was he put Blunt to left back, and he just started Rojo as a centre back, which I didn't really agree with that. Even though last season there were some games when Blunt was left back and he was absolutely outstanding there. But I just think I wouldn't split up that partnership right now, to be honest. I would keep them going. And Rojo's played full back, left back for Argentina many a time, so I think he should insert in there, and he'll do a job. He's no Luke Shaw, let's be honest. He'll do a job for a while.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. I wouldn't snub London Smalling because centre back's the most important part of the pitch nowadays. I don't mind Rojo in there, but I think he's playing the World Cup final with Argentina at left back, so he must have some quality in there. And then aside from Blunt and Rojo, you don't really have very many options there at left back. So I'd try Rojo in there and play Blunt and Smalling because them two have been very good. And you could nearly unsell United them two not playing with each other beside each other on Tuesday night.
And how do you think United will actually line up? Do you think Martial will slot in as the lone striker again, or do you think a fit Rooney will go straight back in, even after Martial's fantastic debut?
For me, I would just play De Gea, Darby, and Rojo, Smalling, or Glenn, Smalling, Rojo, and then the two holding midfielders I'd probably Schweinsteiger or Schneider, and then I would have Young out the left, Matt out the right, and I would have Rooney behind Martial, and I'd bring on Depay with maybe 20-25 minutes to go. He hasn't done much in Premier League yet. Yeah,
his Premier League form has been really, really poor so far. I really expected more, but I suppose it takes players a while to settle. But he's been so good in Europe, which is what I can understand. We just can't bring it. I mean, he went off the other day against Liverpool at half time, and Ashley Young came on, and Ashley Young absolutely changed the game. Yeah. Young was sensational when he came on, and I mean that might affect Depay's confidence, to be honest. I mean, he's getting subbed, and the player that's facing him is doing a better job. So it might take him a few games, but there's definitely a fantastic player in there. As many are Ludden, many are.
I wouldn't give up with him.
I would have same with Johnny. I think De Gea will be in goal. I would personally play the same back four as Johnny. I would change I think United will play that 4-2-3-1 they've been playing with most season. I think they'll change and have Carrick and Snarland in there. I think Snarland will be in there for getting around Victor Wanyama, and I think Mane, and I think Tadic. So I think he'll be in there. It depends on Wayne Rooney if he's fit. I think Van Gaal will prefer him to play that number 9 role. I think Rooney prefers to play that number 10 role. So it all depends. If Rooney's fit, Rooney for me would play number 10. But I think if he's fit, I think he'll start up top. I think Ashley Young will keep his place. And then Matt will start. For me, Matt is a better number 10. He may not have a good game out in Eindhoven, but I would play him in number 10 with Depay out in the right. But I think it'll probably be Matt on the right, and I think Depay might actually. I think Louis van Gaal, did he not try Depay in number 10 in pre-season, and it worked quite well with him and Wayne Rooney? But it just depends. Wayne Rooney's fit. Wayne Rooney, I think, will play number 9, but it just depends. You never know what Louis van Gaal's going to do.
Big decision what to play Herrera.
I think he's been brilliant this season.
I think he's an unsung hero. I thought against Liverpool he was in and out, But for me personally, I think Rooney's finished as a number 9 unless he's 2 players up with him. I just Premier League, I just don't like him up front of his own anymore. I would have Rooney number 10, most effective for United. 100, in my opinion, 99 times out of 100, that's his best position. But whether or not Van Gaal trusts Martial to play up front of his own in the Premier League, I just don't know. They obviously came on and scored against Liverpool. They don't get much better than that, and then they played on Tuesday night. But I'd be tempted to give them a start. So I would play Rooney behind it.
So lads, what are your predictions for the result for that game?
I will go United to win 2-0.
2-0. Ben?
I think United 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0, a narrow victory for Ben, and I think Southampton will score at home. I think it'll be another really dreary performance from us. I think we won't pull up any trees, but I think we'll get the job done. We'll get the 3 points, much like the game against Aston Villa away from home. I think we'll get the 3 points, but it'll not be an easy game. Southampton have some quality in there. I would go for 2-1 United.
Cool.
So, lads, we'll move on. We'll just go very quickly through the other Premier League games here, and we'll just get your opinions on what their results will be. So 3 o'clock on Saturday, we'll go through the 3 o'clock kickoffs first of all. We've got Aston Villa v West Brom. Jonathan?
That's a tough one. If Tony Pulis, he'll take a point. Villa, they chucked things away against Leicester. That was just self-capitulation. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I actually think if somebody had a gun to Sherwood's head, I think he would have pulled the trigger himself. Honestly, I think it'll be a draw. I think Villa, West Brom, 2 similar teams, nothing great. Pulis to take a point. I'll go with 1-1 draw.
Ben?
I actually fancy West Brom to win this one. I actually think Rondon, Ricky Lambert. I think Ricky Lambert's a very underrated player. I know he didn't get his chance at Liverpool last year. I don't think he was at Liverpool standard of player, but Brendan Rodgers never gave him a chance. I think Ricky Lambert and Rondon look at actually a half decent partnership. I think you have a solid back four in there. I think it's Baird and not Baird, Brunt and Macaulay and Evans and I think Craig Dawson. Like that's a steady back four, and they're hard working across the midfield. Like if West Brom get a couple of chances, they get up to like Rondon and Lambert and they take them. I fancy a West Brom 2-1 win here. I don't think Aston Villa for me can't keep a clean sheet at the minute.
I agree with Ben. I don't think they can keep a clean sheet, Aston Villa, but I don't think West Brom are going to come to Villa Park and attack them and score many goals. I think West Brom will score, but I think Aston Villa will just sneak it. I think 2-1 Aston Villa because Tony Pulis is not a manager who's going to go there and attack. I mean, if they do score, it'll be from a set piece. And I think Villa will have maybe a bit too much quality, even though they're not no great shakes themselves.
I don't think we agree with it. I don't think we agree anybody on scores. That's the Chelsea game. That's the West Brom game. Do we not like it? Do we not
like for United?
Do we not
controversial pundits? That's what we have here. Come on.
Do we not like each other?
Right, lads. So we'll move on now. The next one, Bournemouth are at home to Sunderland. Jonathan, what's your prediction for that? Newly promoted Bournemouth. They've been okay, but they haven't been great since they came up.
Sunderland are terrible. They are really bad. They are bad, but you know what? They're not bad. I actually fancy them to win. Don't ask me why. I just
don't tell Ben that. He's Callum Wilson in his fantasy team.
I think this will be a high scoring game. If you look at Sunderland's attacking options, they're actually pretty decent. Jeremy Lenz or your boy Lenz is a good player. Barini. Last time he
also signed, scored a cracking free kick a couple of weeks ago.
Last time that Sunderland or Barini was at Sunderland, they couldn't stop doing that celebration because of the amount of times he scored. And then you have Defoe. Everyone knows Defoe will score. So I actually think that'll be a high scoring game. I'll go Sunderland 3-2. Last minute penalty.
Goals galore plus. Sunderland for Jonathan.
Big
Ben, what do you think?
I'm actually going to agree with Johnny. I actually think Sunderland can go to. I think Sunderland can go down to the south coast, and I think they can actually. I actually think they can take 3 points back up to the northeast. I think Defoe, I think Barini. I think looking at them from the highlights against Spurs, they actually looked a bit of drive about them. They looked a wee bit of passion. They looked to be going.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, Bournemouth actually can cause you problems going forward, but they ship in a wild amount of goals at the back. Like I think they conceded, like even though they beat West Ham like 4-3, I think there's 3. I think they conceded against Leicester. I think they conceded 3 away to Norwich. Like I know they're at home and they held the crowd. I think they got beat the Aston Villa. So like I think Bournemouth will score, but I can see Sunderland winning. I think 3-1 here for Sunderland.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think as or Sunderland have one of the. I think their squad is actually quite good. I mean, Jonathan named some of the players they have there. I mean, some of them players would definitely get into the likes of a Spurs team, or an Everton team. They're that kind there. I mean, it might not be saying much to an Arsenal fan like Ben, but I mean, that's the
Say
kind of
Spurs,
players.
they're not ever standard.
I agree. I think Sunderland will probably have too much quality for Bournemouth. Bournemouth are just still kind of adjusting to the Premier League. They're still kind of finding their way. But Sunderland, I mean, That's a lucky bag for them, isn't it? They can get a draw, a loss, or a win. They're that kind of team.
Yeah.
I would go for. I don't think it'll be high scoring, to be honest. I would go for a 2-1 for Sunderland in that one. So we'll move on. We're going up to the northeast now. Newcastle home to Watford. Right, Jonathan, Newcastle new manager Steve McLaren. He's plenty of experience in England. We all know who he is. The England manager with the umbrella. How do you think he'll get on?
The Wally with the brawling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's Newcastle won the Old Trafford, played reasonably well, got a deserved point, and then I watched them on the day against West Ham. And no joke, you'd actually thought that team were just clobbered together on a Friday, trained them the Saturday, and then played on the Monday. They were terrible.
They must have picked them up from that mile that they all walked. They had to get to the park. Say, come and play for Newcastle United.
I don't know. Watford they won. They beat Swansea, so that was their first win. So they'll be brave and happy with themselves.
Because Swansea have been brilliant this season.
Yeah, I think Watford will be good in the counter as well. I think that'll be a draw.
A draw.
Yeah,
Ben?
I'll go.
Jonathan, sorry, your score
No,
prediction.
2-2.
2-2, Ben.
I actually think this will be the game that'll be on last on Match of the Day on Saturday night. I think this could be a very goalless one. I don't think either side are very. I don't think they're good going forward. I think Newcastle can. It depends what Newcastle turn up. It's the one that played. They went to Old Trafford. They were really resolute. Great back four. Very solid midfield. I think they had a couple of chances. I think Mitrovic hit the bar. I think there was 2 or 3 chances where they could score in the counter attack. And then as you say, Johnny, they turned up on Saturday night and they were absolutely woeful. They were really bad. And it could have been 3 or 4. Let Watford the same. Watford I actually think create a lot of chances, but they don't have that clinical goal score to put it away. So I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 draw here.
A goalless one. So
Yeah.
it's the last match of the day for Ben.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's hard to know what kind of Newcastle team you're going to get. It's like a lucky bag, much like their neighbours Sunderland. I don't know. They spent about 40-50 million on players, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. This summer.
I think 55 million.
That's a lot of money for Mike Ashley, who's normally quite tight with the wallet. I mean, that's the kind of game that you're paying that kind of money on players. You would expect Newcastle to be winning at home. I think they will win. It'll be narrow. I think they'll win 2-1. I think Watford will go there, give a good account of themselves, but Newcastle will just have that a bit too much quality for them.
That's your third 2-1 in a row.
It's the most popular result. Don't forget.
That's your third 2-1.
Right, so we're not agreeing too much on results here, anyways. That's for sure. But we'll move on now. This is going. Stoke v Leicester. Well, Stoke have really started this season badly. I mean, I think they're rid of the bottom of the table right now, and they've signed some really quality players too. The likes of Shaqiri, linked to the likes of Liverpool and all a year ago, and he's at Stoke City now. It's hard to believe. But Stoke home to Leicester. Leicester have been absolutely sensational under Claudio Ranieri. They got out of the jail the last day against Aston Villa. Tim Sherrod won't be impressed with that. But Jonathan, how do you think Stoke will get on against Leicester? This new look Leicester team under Ranieri.
I think Leicester beat Stoke there last year 1-0. I think Pella scored towards the end. It could have been 1-0 or 2-1. I can't really remember, but I know they beat them there. Stoke, I still think they'll be without Adam and Affley, so there's 2 good midfielders. I think this is another draw. I think Stoke. I think Stoke will be happy with the draw, just to try and tip things over after a terrible start. Leicester will be a buoyant form after their win
Making too much noise.
against against Aston Villa. So I'll go for a Leicester win. Or I'll go for a draw actually. I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1. Ben, what about you?
Sorry about the noise, lads. I will. I actually fancy Stoke to win this one on Saturday. I think Stoke could. I think Stoke will go. Even though they're missing Adam and Affley, I think they're probably Stoke's two of their better players. But I think Shaqiri wanted to show the fans why they paid. I think was it 12 million from Inter Milan they paid for him, or that era, and Hosselu and Bojan's back from injury. Crouch, they've got the basis of a very, very good team. But it depends. But Leicester's another one. Like Leicester for 60 odd minutes were shocking against Aston Villa, and deserved to be 2-0 down. But I think they've got a load of pace on the counter attack. I think you have Jamie Vardy and Nathan Dyer come on and score the winner on Sunday. I think Mahrez and I think the Joe, they've got some good players, but I think Stoke will be just too strong for them. I think Stoke will win that 2-1.
Yeah, I think Stoke v Leicester. I mean, Stoke have started the season so badly, and Leicester have been so bright this season. I mean, they might have got out of jail against Aston Villa, but I'd be inclined to go for a draw as well. Stoke. I mean, Leicester have been playing too well, I think, to get beat here, but I think Stoke just haven't got a goal, and I think it's Mark Hughes is a good manager. Don't get me wrong. It's just a matter of getting that rhythm together with the new players, getting them, blended into the team. And I think once Stoke do that, they will be grand. They won't be anywhere near the bottom three coming into the season. I think they'll be safe enough to get 11th place. But I'd go for a 1-1 there, because Leicester would definitely take a 1-1 the way their season's gone. Definitely. I mean, they've started well, but I mean, they'll want to keep the results, going. They want to keep putting points on the board. They haven't lost many, if any.
Yeah,
so
is a tough place to go as well. So.
Oh,
yeah, so I'd go for a 1-1 there as well. So next one, Swansea Everton, which I think is a very interesting one because Swansea started so well and they went out and Watford beat them last week, wasn't it? I mean, that's kind of inexplicable if you ask me, the way Swansea started, how they managed to go and do that. They beat us a couple of weeks ago at the Britannia. Maybe courtesy of some bad defensive errors. But Everton as well, their start's been really hit and miss, but I think they're kind of finding their groove now. They went and beat Chelsea the weekend. But Jonathan, how do you think that one will go?
I'm going to go for an away win here. Don't ask me why. I think
that's a bold claim.
I just think Everton will beat them. Swansea, could be maybe the start of a mini crisis. Just a rumour. I do think Everton will beat them. The win over Chelsea, big confidence booster. Naismith will probably be up for him. Then Barkley started the season well. Jaggy Elvis seemed to do all right, and then Stones along with him. So, this will be a very interesting game. Both clubs have a lot of core of really, really good players. I'll go for Everton. They win 3-1.
Ben, I mean, that last Arsenal game at the Emirates you went to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was Arsenal Swansea, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so,
it was.
I'm guessing you're not the biggest Swansea fan in the world, so I think you're inclined to go for an Everton win here.
Don't get me wrong, I love Gary Monk, I love Swansea style of football, but I'm going to have to agree with Johnny here.
I was thinking that.
I'm going to back. I'm going to back an Everton win. I think they were superb against Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea. Just how bad Chelsea were, I think Everton were superb. I think they got in about them. I think Gareth Barry McCarthy played very well. Naismith came off the bench. He wasn't even starting. I think he came off. I think he came on for Besic, who came off injured, and he had an absolute worldie game. I think John Stones, I think, is a massive, massive keep for Everton. I think that young lad will be. I think could possibly go to the Euros and be England's first choice centre half of Gary Cahill. I think that's how good that wee fella is. But I think that would be a game on Saturday that if I was watching, I think I would really, really enjoy. They're two really good passing football teams that will have a go. But I think I'm just more inclined to go for the away side. I think Everton will beat them 2-0. I think the Cagliari could be a handful in there on Saturday.
So you both think Gary Monk is going to have a wee bit of slump of form in the next couple of games?
Slump. Look at back. They're too good a side.
I mean, for me, it's a very difficult one to call. You're saying away one. I mean, I know Everton's played well recently. That big one against Chelsea will help them, but I just think Swansea are a great footballing team. I've been kind of go for a draw there, but I think there'll be goals in it. I would go for a 2-2 because the likes of Gomes will be playing. Lukaku want to get his groove back on. Stephen Naismith want to keep that streak going. He's done so well.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
definitely go. I think a draw. I don't think Everton will beat them. I think Swansea won't be great, but they'll have enough to get a draw. Two each. Um, we're moving on to the half 5 game on Saturday. The final game on Saturday is Man City are at home to West Ham. Man City, who have been virtually untouchable this season. I mean, they were a bit lucky last week to get that goal in the last minute to win against Crystal Palace, and West Ham will be full of confidence as well after winning 2-0 against Newcastle. Well, you could say a poor Newcastle team Monday night, but West Ham will go there with confidence. They'll try and play. I think they've got two big scalps this season already, Liverpool and Arsenal. So, Jonathan, how do you think that game will go?
If the game was at Upton Park, I'd probably go 5-0 City. West Ham are just so good away from the game, it's unbelievable. Saying that, they are away, but City are just too good at the minute. I'll go City 3-0.
Ben?
I have to agree. I think that's a. I think if you were to, I think this would be a home banker. I think City are too strong at the minute. I think Silva, I think Aguero. I think Aguero will probably be fit. I think even with if they miss Vincent Company, I think they'll have too much. Even though West Ham have beat, as you say, Derby, Liverpool and Arsenal both away from home. I think West Ham can give them problems. Don't get me wrong. I think Payet and Victor Moses and Sacco up front, they still have Andy Carroll and stuff to come off the bench, but I think City will be too strong. I think City will win here 3-1.
Yeah, I agree. I think City will be much too strong for West Ham, even though they started the season so well. But I'll be hoping the Afro Sacco or Dimitri Payet gets me a goal for fantasy. Fingers crossed. But I mean, Man City, just the quality they have. They've got a few injuries, but I mean, it's no worry for them, is it? They go to Crystal Palace. They're always a tough place to go is Selhurst Park. They go there and win. So yeah, I just think City at the current time, the way they're playing, they have too much quality in the league. I'd go for a 4-1. I think City will score plenty of goals in this one.
Ooh, it's a big shout, man.
Yeah, I think so. Moving on. Ben, Tottenham v Crystal Palace. I mean, I think I know what you're going to go for here, but is it realistic to expect a Crystal Palace victory at White Hart Lane?
I think it very much is, Dermot. I think they went to Stamford Bridge and beat Chelsea 2-1. I think they gave Man City a very, very good game on Saturday. I think they were quite unlucky to come away with a 1-0 defeat. I think an 0-0 would probably been a better result. I think we didn't deserve to go and beat them. And I think the second game of the season away, I think they deserved a 1 each. I think Francis Coquelin was lucky to stay on the pitch, but they've got real pace in that team. I think you've got you've got Balassi and Zaha and Jason Punchin. They'll cause you real problems. I think Cabaye is a wonderful sign. I don't know how Crystal Palace managed to pull that off. But don't get me wrong, I think Spurs are a good side. I think Harry Kane needs to score a goal in the league just to get him off the. I think because a lot of people are on his back. I think some people call him a one-hit wonder. But I think Palace will just be too strong here. I think Palace will win 2-1.
Jonathan, you agree?
I'll go for a home win. I think Spurs, when they Sunderland, didn't play reasonably well, but they got a result. And then they won tonight. Rested a few players. Palace, great team, great in the count. It wouldn't surprise me if that 2-1 Ben prediction came up. I think this will probably be the game of the weekend, excluding the big game at Stamford Bridge. London Derby. Palace are just so good in the counter attack, it's unbelievable. I think Spurs will win 2-0. Harry Kane to break the duck, and maybe a wee goal from. I'll go someone random. Eric Dier. There you go, that's a random.
As random as could be.
So Jonathan, what's your score prediction? Did you say?
2-0 Spurs.
2-0 Spurs, right? So, I mean, I think there will be goals in this game as well. I think Spurs will be really hoping for at this moment in time is for Harry Kane to finally start scoring again. I mean, how good was he last year? I think he scored 35 goals in all competitions last year, and he just hasn't got going this year at all. He's done well for England, got a couple for them, but he's done nothing for Spurs. But they bought reasonably well. I mean, they couldn't get the Berahino deal done in time, but they bought Son from Leverkusen, the South Korean international, who I think is a very good player. He scored tonight for them in the Europa League, and I think he'll have a goal as well to his name on Sunday. As you rightly said, Palace are a great team, great counter-attacking team. They've got some amount of pace in there, like Balassi and Zaha, and Cabaye, a great signing as Ben mentioned. But I just think Spurs at home I know the way London Derby and the atmosphere will be very good, and it might be tricky for Spurs, but I just think Spurs will have too much quality, so I'll go for a 3-1. I think for that for Spurs.
Good.
Ben will not like to hear me say that, but
It's your opinion. It's your opinion.
my opinion, that's what counts. And finally, we're going to go to Anfield, Liverpool, home to Norwich. Liverpool have been an absolute. I mean, what's their season's collapsing already, and it's only just begun. I mean, they've been so poor recently. I mean, they were so poor at Old Trafford last week. I think the fact they were so poor made Manchester United look so good. But Jonathan, how do you think Liverpool will get on? You would expect them to get 3 points here, surely.
I would, but I think it'll be a tough game for them. If Luis Suarez was playing, I think it'll be 6-0 that Really,
He scored some of the goals against Norwich.
He'd love Norwich.
Norwich, I swear, must have hated him. Every game, it must be about 3 or 4 every game he scored against them.
I think he was the only player to score three consecutive hat-tricks like against the same team or something. I think.
I know. I actually think Norwich fans have a dartboard and it says face in it. I'll go Liverpool to win 2-1. I think this will be a really tight game. Norwich, braving good alright defensively. I do think they'll score. Liverpool, without arguably their best player, their Coutinho, play tonight. I'll tip them to win 2-1. I think Benteke will score and Danny Ings. But I think it'll be a tough game. 2-1 to Liverpool. But I really, really do think Norwich will score. That'll be my tip of the weekend. Norwich will score.
Ben, would you agree?
Yeah, I actually do agree with John. I think this will be a really, really tough game for Liverpool. I think Alex Neil has done a brilliant job ever since he came in. I think it was around February, March time. I think he came in and got them up for the playoffs. I actually, at the start of the season, I tipped Norwich. I tipped Norwich to stay up. I thought Norwich are the base of a good squad. I think they're well organised. I think they know what they're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was a draw on Sunday. I think this could be a 1 each.
Yeah, I agree. I think Liverpool will win the game. Yeah, definitely. But it'll be tight. Norwich have been okay this season, but I don't think they'll have the quality to go to Anfield and get a victory. But I suppose saying that, Liverpool are like a lucky bag this year. You don't know what you're going to get with them.
Yeah.
I agree with Johnny. I think the likes of Benteke will get a goal. He'll get up because he'll be full of confidence after that wonderful goal at Old Trafford last week. And I think Liverpool.
That was a fluke. It hit his shin.
I think when Rooney scored the same kind of goal. Whatever. Liverpool 2-1. So that's we've come to the end now of all our fixtures. We've got our predictions in. We've talked about the Champions League. We've talked about the Premier League, and I would think that's a reasonably successful first show. Lads, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Good job.
Good start. Maybe we'll get some more viewers next time. It's sitting at 0 now.
How many were we?
We'll get the viewership up soon. But no, all right. Thanks for joining me, Ben, and thanks for joining me, Jonathan.
Good man, Dermot.
We'll probably be on another week or so, will we? Doing the same thing again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. Maybe Jonathan can try his hand hosting next week.
I don't know. No problem.
So thanks for watching 100% Football, and suppose we'll see you next week.
Take care. Thank you.
Cheers.